Yeah, dude. Need to clear some of that out. That's a big log up there. Good hit. What's up, guys? Matt here. Finally coming at you with my final SCX6 cage build video. There's going to be a little bit of crawling of this thing in here a little later. Haven't really got out bouncing with it yet because I've just had some issues. But I wanted to update you guys on this thing, what all has been going on with it. It's been a while since I've posted anything on it. I did skip some steps. Some people wanted to see every part of this build, so I'm just wanting to see it finished. And honestly, I've had a lot of stuff coming in, new releases and things, the red cats and stuff. I wanted to get a lot of crawling and time in with those things and get some good videos up on those, because there's decisions to be made if you want to buy that or not. And so I like to get some good info out there for you. But this is just sort of something I've been doing kind of here and there when I have the time for me. This is my personal build that something I wanted to do. So I did catch a little bit of flack on Facebook. Somebody posted it in one of the SCX6 groups, like, how much Vitavon do you run on your 6? And I posted this and I was like, quite a bit, you know. And then of course somebody says, yeah, but how much of that was you sent for free and blah, blah, blah. And so I posted receipts. Like, I bought everything on this. This was my choice for this custom build. Every single thing on here, down to the bolts, the K&K hardware kit, everything. This is my hand-picked build because this is what I want it to be. So let's talk a little bit about some of the issues. With this cage, I couldn't run the front shocks normal. I had to flip them, and that sounds terrible. Need a little WD or something on the steering link maybe. But I had to flip the shocks. Maybe it's these GPM shocks with the big, large cap on them, but it just seemed to bind when I tried to mount the shock cap up here. It just didn't work out. So I ended up flipping them. The rears, you can see, worked out fine, but the front was just very tight. So I don't know. These shock mounts don't work out real well on this chassis, and there's just not very many of them either. I wish we had more options. If they just kind of made this a little different here and gave us more options, that would have been nice. So that was a little bit of an issue when putting this together. One of the main issues I had was clearance on this front drive shaft, because I wanted to run the stock 2-speed transmission. And that keeps, instead of going with the Vitavon center drive shaft setup, whatever, center mount transmission, I wanted that 2-speed in here. So fitting that drive shaft was a little bit of a pain. I was getting a lot of rubbing on the links. So I ended up, Vitavon, when you buy this cage, you get the front links for free because you're 4-linking, you know, you're going from the 3-link panhard setup on your stock truck to this 4-link. So they give you those 2 upper fronts. And so what I ended up doing was using a Treal link here. This is the panhard link out of a kit. And it just happened to fit here perfectly with a little bit of a bend to it. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to zoom in. But this link has a little bit of a bend, and it gave me the clearance on the drive shaft I need. So now I'm not hitting that drive shaft. I'm getting full compression. Everything's fine. No rubbing. So that just happened to work out. So I wish they had a few more upper link mount options that were a little higher maybe, just so you could clear that drive shaft a little better. With this setup, I don't know. It works, you know, so can't complain there. Once I got this together, first time I took it out, I built this entire thing and put a lot of money in this. Really, it's kind of dumb, I know, but it was just something I wanted to do. And so I did it, you know. But I put a 35 kg little cheap Amazon servo for my shift servo in this when I was building it, because I had it just sitting around. And I tried to save a little bit here and there when I could. Just like with the links here, I went with Treal because I got those a little cheaper, the high clearance links on the bottom. And that's why I did that. But I put a 35 kg shift servo in there. First time I go out, it dies within probably 5-10 minutes. I was just ripping around, kind of like showing the guys, and it quit shifting. So didn't get any running that day. Took a time out, ordered a ShiftRC Monster 10 scale servo for the shift servo and never look back. I put that servo in all my 10 scale crawlers that I can afford it in anyways, because I just really like those servos. They're very strong. ShiftRC has been very good for me. That's another reason I went to the ShiftRC servo in the front, and I'm no affiliate with them whatsoever. So I will say the NSDRC 5th scale servo is much stronger than this one, in my opinion. I have it in my Honcho. I really liked it, but I wanted to try this one because I like the shift stuff. So I just wanted to try it, and I like the look of it on this build. So I went with it on the front, and honestly, the NSDRC is stronger. I knew that looking at the specs, but it's very noticeable when running also. So hopefully it'll be good and strong, and that's really what I need on this. I need it to be durable. Shouldn't say strong. I need it to be durable, so I feel like it will be that. It's pretty strong, and it's a good servo. It's just not quite as good as the NSDRC, in my opinion. But I have that running to a separate 4S pack. So one of my complaints with this cage setup is the battery mounting system, trays, whatever. They're just a flat tray, and you wrap Velcro around your battery. So one strap around it was not holding my 4S pack in here. It was just shifting like this. So trying to get a Velcro piece around that was a pain. You know, with this here, it's tight, and I was all in here fighting and getting mad. So I just printed off this little box here. It's just open on this end with a Velcro strap. And so I can actually slide this thing in here one way or another. It only fits one way. I can slide it in like that and then strap my Velcro here. I screwed the Velcro down so it won't move. And that works really well. So just take this, loop it through there and back, and that's strapped in. And then on this side, I printed another little box for my 4S pack. Right here, you can see I just got some adapter I had laying around. And I can drop it in here, Velcro it in, and then that connects to the servo. So that keeps my batteries in place and seems to work very well. I did go with QS8 connectors on here because they're anti-spark. They don't come apart. Really good connectors. I just put those on anything really that I'm running 4S and above on most of the time. So those will work out well. I have the Castle Mamba X Monster in here. Basically, I went with that because I wanted to crawl and bounce. And this has the aux mode where you can switch from like crawler mode to bouncer mode or whatever they call it. So I can have drag brake or I can have no drag brake by just clicking a button. So I like that setup. Sometimes I even put the drag brake adjustment on a dial or something where you can turn it up or down lightly, because sometimes if you're on a steep hill bouncing, you want a little bit, you know, if you bounce and then you catch so you don't roll back down, you got a little drag. So I may end up switching that to where it's on a dial and I can adjust it, but for now it's crawler mode or like bouncer mode. I forget what they call it, but I'll try to put it on the screen anyways. So first time out, shift servo died. Second time out, something else went wrong. Batteries wouldn't stay in. Connector broke on the servo connector to the battery. I broke the connector I was using. And then third time, the pinion came loose. So very limited runtime with this, but I'll post up some crawling that I did get in with it. I've yet to get out and bounce this on the hills, but hopefully that's coming soon. Besides that, everything went together pretty well. I did go with some wideners on this. You can see it's pretty long compared to its width, which should be pretty good on hills and stuff. It's not real great for crawling. You belly out a lot, so it's just not a great crawler, but it's going to be a lot of fun on some hills. But the wideners, I'll post a picture up here. It did widen it up quite a bit. I don't remember if it was 30 millimeters or something like that, but it was very narrow. It was these outer edge of the tires was more like in here, and it seemed way too narrow. So those wideners seemed to be working. They were like some of the only ones I could find that were on eBay, or just some of the only ones I could find, period. They just happened to be on eBay. So I picked those up, and so far they seem to be working well. And my good old Proline Swampers, first time I actually crawled with this very much. One of them's like ripping out. yeah, this one's like ripping out. So thanks, Proline. I do have the new Baja Pro X's that they released coming for this. Hopefully they're strong. Vitavon wheels that I just had already. I'm slipping a bead on this one. Got to fix that, but I'm just waiting for those Baja Pros to show up. Oh, I did lie to you guys. I did get one free part for this. That was the Vitavon steering link here. I mean, I chose the Vitavon steering link because they're number one. No, they sent me that link because I bought so much other stuff. They was like, we'll throw you in the steering link. So I wasn't going to turn it down. I took it. So the steering link is the only thing that I got sent to me. Besides that, this is all me. Let's check out how I've got this set up, and then we'll run it. All right, so my low and high is right here. Right now I'm in low. I can click that and go to high. So low. Have a decent crawl. Like I said, I really just wanted to be able to crawl this through the creek enough to get to some cool hills. So I wasn't worried about super technical crawling. Part of the reason why I didn't go four-wheel steer. Somebody said I should have did four-wheel steer, but for me, a bouncer, I don't want four-wheel steer. I just don't want to deal with it, trying to keep another servo straight. I just didn't want it. If I was going to crawl with it, I definitely would have, because this thing takes a half mile to turn. And then right now you can tell I don't have any drag brakes. So if I put this in high, there's no drag there. It is pretty powerful. Crazy powerful. And then I can click this button and I do have drag and it will just stop completely. So pretty good crawl for high gear there. But it's pretty much set up exactly how I wanted it. I just need to get out and bounce with it. Like I said, I've did a little crawling, but hopefully soon I can do some bouncing before I break it again. Look, that's max speed and low. Pretty fast and low. Let's see. High gear is almost a little too much. See, that happens a lot. It's so narrow, it rolls a lot. I have these wideners on here, but they're still not enough. So like I said, I haven't actually taken this thing out just to get a good session with it in. We haven't really been out bouncing or anything with the riffs and haven't been to the creek. I've just kind of been taking this along with me every time I go out with the 10 scales. And, you know, this day here, I was out running the Fusion Ascent and the Stance and just kind of packed this along with me and got a little bit of crawling in with it. And you'll see, I mean, it does okay. It's not a crawler, really. Right here, you'll see it just gets high centered and gets hung up on the belly a lot. The new Baja Pro X's, I did get those in actually before finishing this video, and they are slightly larger in diameter than the Swampers here. So they'll probably help that some, and they are crazy meaty. So like, they're going to be a lot of fun in the woods. And really, in the woods, in the creek, hitting the banks off the side of the creek is where this thing is built to run. Like I said, I just kind of tried to get a little bit of crawling in with it just to spend a little time with it and see what it would do. And it did a couple lines that were fairly impressive, but again, it's just not really a crawler. I mean, it can crawl, but it's not super capable. The shocks are way stiff for crawling. It really doesn't flex much, but I think they're going to be pretty good for the weight of this thing when bouncing. So my audio in most of these clips was pretty well shot. I lost my dead cat off of my little mic while I was out filming this day, and it's just one of those things, you know. But I did bite the bullet. I've ordered me some much better mic setup and equipment, so hopefully my audio is going to get a little better for you guys. Just out on those windy days, it's a little tough. But these clips here, I kind of tossed in because I'd shot them in a different format, and they just didn't really work without putting them side by side. So there's a couple clips here. The one on the right there is pretty cool. None of the 10 scales launch up that real well, and this did go up it. So Pretty cool. Like I said, it doesn't flex well because it's just set up pretty stiff, honestly. But it's going to work for bouncing, I hope. And, you know, I apologize I haven't got out with it to bounce yet, but just been putting a lot of time in crawling. So, got to do what you can do, you know. And I'm definitely going to be taking this to Beat the Creek. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be running 6s out there. I know last year Liam and I took the SCX6, and that's really all we drove. We had a blast with them, just taking them down to the creek and hitting some hill climbs off the side and stuff. So definitely looking forward to running this there. There should be some really cool hills, and hopefully just meet up with a bunch of people running 6s. There's not really, there's like one other one in our area that ever comes out. And besides that, I now own, this is my 3rd one. And I let people borrow my other 2 or whatever, and we just kind of go run them every now and then. So not very many people own them, but I absolutely love them. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with some people at Beat the Creek. So if you're going to be out that way, definitely shoot me an email or something. I always put my email in the description of the video, and get in touch with me that way, and maybe we can text and talk back and forth or whatever and plan to meet up. So I appreciate you guys watching, and definitely more to come on this. Peace.